Welcome to the Cincy PostCast. I'm Kevin Wallace, and before we get started with today's episode, I get to tell you about our good friends over at Streetside Brewery. Oh, absolutely love these guys. In fact, just yesterday, picked up a 6-pack at my local convenience store just right down the street from me, took it off to a buddy's house, had a fantastic time with a sixer of boring beer. Okay, look, they have the crazy stuff. They've got the Subra New England IPAs. They got all the dark stouts you could ever dream of. They also, at the end of the day, make a fantastic, just classic beer-flavored beer, as people call it. And I love it. It's a good time. Now, that's buying it carryout. If you haven't been down to the brewery over in the Columbia Tusculum neighborhood, you are missing out because it is a really, really cool spot. Great place to watch FC Cincinnati games. Those away games, you know you're not going to get to. Great place to be watching those games. They are an FC Cincinnati pub partner. So huge thank you to Streetside for sponsoring this episode, sponsoring so many episodes. We're so happy to have them on board. And thank you, listener, for going and checking them out. And on today's episode, we got a fun one for you, okay? It's preseason. There was a preseason game. It ended 1-1. Okay, the first team took it 1-0. The second team, maybe the third team, lost it 1-0. It's hard to say what happened because we weren't there to watch it, but reading Carter's live blog and checking out Pat Noonan's post-game press conference, media availability comments, we can sort of synthesize what's happening here, and it leads to a spirited discussion. Okay, it's a good time. It's a lot of Kevin Denkey talk. Okay, we touch on it. We go into all the permutations of what this looks like, and all of this is based on reading a description of a preseason game. It's that time of year. Okay, this is the time to freak out or to get excited and overly hyped, however you want to view it. We also touch on FC Cincinnati news that is happening, including a new goalkeeper from Liverpool. That's a thing that actually just happened. There's a new strategic partnership, a kit launch, and an absurd transfer offer on the table. But all of it is table setting or table dressing for the main event, which is we got Cincinnati's own Kyle Smith on the podcast. So happy to have been able to talk to him about his career, his time before Cincinnati, and then eventually joining FC Cincinnati. He tried to in the past, okay? We touch on that, but he finally gets to do it. Maybe his family can truly be his true, all themselves fans of him now that he's playing for the team that deep down in their hearts they were rooting for the whole time. It's a great conversation. Put it all together, you got yourselves a lovely February edition of the PostCast. And joining me to talk about all of that and more, I'm joined by two gentlemen who are so happy to be in the month that MLS and FC Cincinnati starts back up, joined by the Chief, joined by Grayson. Grayson, I think there's only 2 more preseason matches we have to care about. How are we feeling?
Do we have to?
I mean, you don't have to. But there's two like on the record that will be presumably covered via live blog.
Because I will tell you that, like, I only have 2 modes. It's either like I don't care about preseason or I read too much into it.
Yes.
And if I have to care about preseason, then like Pat Noonan's comments throughout preseason are not making me feel comfortable.
Yeah, there is that.
Chief, how are you feeling? How are you absorbing this?
It's interesting. I'm somewhat where Grayson's at. on this that if you tell me I've got to care about preseason, and I do care about preseason, I want to know where this club is, what they're doing, what the status is, and
should we be playing like All-Star or like 1 week like in the background, very low in the behind this entire episode since it's a preseason episode?
Yes, we can get like a copyright strike from Amazon and finally end this podcast for good.
Thank you.
I just, what I am at the point of right now is that I watch the preseason results because we can't watch these games, and I listen to the post game comments that Pat Noonan makes, and it's, if I'm not supposed to care, tell me I'm not supposed to care, and then tell me why I'm not supposed to care. But otherwise, my default is that I care. And what I'm seeing, what I am aware of so far in the preseason is it's not answering any of the questions I had about this team or the state of the roster or anything like that right now. I don't know.
Yeah, like I'm in like don't care about preseason mode. But to the extent that I hear stuff that like Pat Noonan's saying about preseason, my feeling is like, man, it does feel like it's somebody's job
to do something about stuff. This.
And I don't know exactly whose it is, but I feel like you do.
Yeah, if it's not you, you know the responsible party here.
So I'll just cut to the chase. Like so FC Cincinnati, their latest preseason game, they draw Houston 1-1 at Al Lang Stadium. What we know about the match,
who cares?
Well, I mean, I care, and I think
Well, like we scored when there were first teamers in.
Yep.
Yeah, and their goal was like
the goal when there was nobody in.
Yeah, apparently the goal was it was deflected off two people.
And the best player on the field was like Ayoub Lajar.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm not so much interested in that. I'm interested in that after the match. So what we do not get the actual matches themselves, obviously. They're not being televised. They're not being streamed or anything. So what
it'd be crazy for a professional league, a professional, let's say, let's call it by its real name, football league, to like televise preseason games.
Who does that?
That like a professional football league televising preseason
games and like building
as
content
if, like,
around
the people
it?
on the field like might not even make the team.
Maybe
nobody would do that.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Just to keep interrupting you, Chief, I really enjoyed the email that the club sent out this week saying don't miss any of the preseason action. Where there are no televised games.
I missed it. I missed all of it. My bad.
So good.
It's on me, I guess. I guess it's my fault.
Look, I want to put some respect on his name to, Carter does have the live blog, which, is your best and only way of following.
But you do
these
miss
games.
a minute. Like the Carter live blog is like,
there's some minutes missing.
Minute 5, minute 16, minute 16.
Man's got to have time to type. Okay, like he can't just be. If he was live blogging every minute, you would get no details. It would just take enough time to write the minute, and that I am also like, here is minute 1, I'm here typing. Here's minute 2, I'm still here typing.
It would be funny if it was just Carter like in a dictaphone, like literally describing like everything live as it happens.
Right.
Even funnier is that if they took that,
well, the first party,
it was just a
first party
microphone.
The first party passed to the second party, and the third party did.
It would be great though,
out there
to keep reading it and then hear and like just read like, oh my god, I'm soaked. Oh my god, I think the computer's broken. Oh my god.
Does anyone have any rice? So you get the live blog, but then the only video content you get besides the clips they share is you get Pat Noonan's press availability afterwards, where we are all discussing a game that nobody watched, which, God love her, you gotta love Laurel Pfahler continuing to be a part of these press conferences where she did not watch the game because they're not available and open to the media. So it's like, Coach, I didn't watch a minute of this because y'all won't let me. But let me get your thoughts on this match that I did not watch either. Can you tell me what I'm supposed to write about this? And I'll say this: the
Coach,
press conference.
Who's on the team?
Can't tell you that.
Coach, take me back, and can you just walk me through minutes 1 to 90 about what you saw? Because I didn't see it, and it would be very helpful to me if someone could tell me what I was supposed to be looking at right here. The press conferences are not filling me with joy and optimism, because they sound very suspiciously like every Pat Noonan press conference or post-match availability that we have heard for the past 3-4 years, where like I can tell you exactly how this goes every time. It is, we did some good things out there. I thought from minute 1 to minute 20, we were back pressed into our own end. We had some difficult time negotiating their press. I thought that we settled into the game and did some good things and really put them on their heels, but really we were lacking the final quality to get into the final attacking third and really punish them for all the success we were having. That we need to be a little more bold, a little more patient with the ball. We did some good things on some through balls where maybe just offside a little bit, where people need to time their runs a little bit better. And then in the second half, I thought we started strong, but eventually they came up with some adjustments for what we were doing in the midfield, and we were back on our heels a little bit. And it's not the result we were looking for, but it's a good opportunity for us to get better. We have guys that are committed to doing that. I thought we defended well, a little bit unlucky to concede there at the end. And, we're going to get back to work at it. And that's every press conference from Pat Noonan for the last 3 years.
Yeah, so everyone.
So I'll say this. Okay. Again, like I'm happy to like not care about preseason results at all. Sure. But when Pat Noonan goes on a press conference and he's like, yeah, we had a lot of issues with like the decision making in the final third, or like players who come in unfit or whatever. It's like, okay, maybe someone should like give them some guidance about what decisions to make in the final third. And so like either like there are like if it's a persistent issue where players on the field like don't know what decisions to make, there's only two choices to there's only like two explanations for that. One is people aren't giving them proper guidance.
It's one.
Or they inherently are incapable of making the right decision.
They dumb.
Okay. So either our coaches don't know how to tell the players what to do,
which you might call coaching, by the way,
or we're signing players who don't know what to do inherently,
and like incapable of learning.
So either way, somebody needs to lose their job, right? Like,
I don't know about that. What I do want to know,
let's say we go through the year. It's early, yes.
Yeah, right. I'm not going to get pretty mad about
if we go through the year,
and this is the
if we go through the year, because we heard this last year, if we go through the year and we still hear this, somebody has to be fired.
Yeah,
I think
either the coach isn't doing it, or our GM doesn't know how to like hire average IQ players.
Or coaches for that matter. Yeah, like one of those two. Yeah.
So like
for what it's worth.
Where I'm at, go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say, for whatever it's worth, they have completely turned over the striker room from the beginning of last year, with the exception of Kevin Denkey, which you would not expect them to necessarily.
That's a hell of an exception, though, when it's your designated player. That's like,
he was quite good last year.
He was good, but you're talking about Santos, no Baird.
There's no measure by which he wasn't good last year. Like the only complaint about last year is they weren't generating striker chances. Like, yes, you can make a complaint where you can say like, should you use a DP deal on a guy who's not like creating?
Yeah.
That's a fair question. But like, if the question is like, was Kevin Denkey good last year? I think the only answer is yes.
Yeah. Christian Benteke doesn't create for other players. Dominant season, incredible season. Won the Golden Boot 2 years ago. Team was terrible.
Denkey scored like 16 league goals on like 10 XG.
Yeah. Who's responsible for that low XG?
Well, he's in part responsible, but I think that like what's more responsible is whatever the plan was to create chances.
Yeah. Whatever that was.
You got Pat Noonan in the press conference, and he's making a pretty pointed criticism of Kevin Denkey in the post-match press conference. And it's that he came in and they're having to talk to him apparently, or they're having to like have conversations with him about like what his training regimen is like. And that, you know, that he needs to work on some other things in terms of his match fitness and his functional mobility. And I will tell you, I'm of the opinion with Kevin Denkey.
I take that as Pat. Honestly, like I think that is Pat Noonan fighting for his job. Like I think that reflects. I watch that as well. I think that reflects poorly on Pat Noonan, to be honest, because the fact of the matter is, like, okay, maybe it's true that Kevin Denkey spends too much time like lifting weights and playing chess or whatever. Okay. But the fact of the matter is that the team as a whole generated 11 XG for their DP striker. Nashville generated 25 XG for their DP striker. And I don't think that Kevin Denkey I think you have to take a little accountability for yourself.
I agree with that, but I also think that there has to be some accountability to hold on. There has to be some accountability too for the fact that like part of generating XG is being in dangerous chances and knowing where the run of play is going and making yourself available to create chances. And how many times last year did we watch Kevin?
They had a useless midfield last year. They had a useless midfield.
But how many times did we watch Kevin Denkey decide that I'm going to drop into the midfield instead of making myself available further up the field? How many times did we see him be out of position to make a final touch on a ball because he didn't make a run timely and the ball is just out of reach for him because he didn't make the run on time and he doesn't get to the spot where the ball is, and a good goal scoring opportunity goes whistling by for a goal kick because Kevin couldn't get his foot on the end of it because Kevin wasn't where he was supposed to be.
I forget the game it was, but there was like a game late in the year that I think was emblematic of the season. And it was the one where the only goal they scored was Denkey came back, got the ball, dribbled up, and shot from outside the box and scored. And it was the one where like Brenner was like making a run and was available and, you know, maybe also like would have scored off a pass of that run. And I think like I was like, why didn't you just like pass it to Brenner there? And I think a lot of people were like, why did you do that? And the fact of the matter is that like, maybe it was a selfish move. Maybe he shouldn't have come back. Maybe he shouldn't have taken the shot there. But it was also the only goal that we scored that game, and we won. And maybe part of why he came back, he was often coming back more than he should, or like doing stuff, or like, you know, making selfish decisions, is because there was no plan. Like the team had nothing. The team had no way to build. The team had no way to advance the ball. The team had no build up. The team had no way to generate chances for the striker.
Here's the problem with that. The problem with that is that if he makes that decision that there's no plan, I need to go back and get the ball. And Luka makes the same decision. There's no plan, and I need to do my own thing. And then another player is like, Luka's like,
boy, does it seem like they need to have like a coach maybe to tell them what to do.
Well, or they need to listen to their coach maybe.
No, they need to have a coach that tells them what to do. And if they're not listening to the coach, someone's got to go. If nobody is listening to the coach, either all the players have to go, or the player or the person who's picking the players has to go, or the coach has to go. And like, I'm sorry
we're
if like
really ahead of ourselves on this for like one preseason result.
If like, but we're talking about last year. Like, if the issue is like everyone feels like there's no real plan to advance the ball, so everybody is coming back to, try to advance the ball and try to make something happen, then there's a huge communication problem at the very least. And maybe a coach should step in and coach.
Yeah. Maybe.
And if no, on it, like, I'm not saying like they weren't coached, but I'm saying if nobody understands the coaching or nobody feels like they've had any coaching,
then it's not working.
Then one of two things is happening. Either there's not coaching, or all the players are defective and the player identification system is fucked, and whoever's picking players needs to go.
So like I said,
here's what I want to see right now. And I think that this is where I think I'm at, because we don't know. We don't know what these games look like.
No,
All we know is that they're scoring 1 goal a game. And yeah, they're pulling players off, and they're allegedly working. And Noonan says in his press conference that we're trying different things because we're having the ability. This is our chance to experiment, because this year there's going to be a lot more fixture congestion because of the way the schedule works out with the World Cup. Here's the question I want asked, and I don't care who does it. I don't care if it's Laurel. I don't care if it's Carter. If Carter wants to ask this and write a feature about it, I would happily give a click and read. Is very simple question. What should the fans expect will be different in 2026 than what was the case in 2025? What should tell people what the difference is going to be between 2025 and 2026? Because if the thought is out there, and we've heard from Chris Albright, we've heard from a lot of people, this team was in need of a refresh, and that the soccer was dull, the soccer was toothless, and the soccer was boring. What are we doing differently this year that will change that? Because at this point, I'm seeing, I'm watching preseason results roll in, 1 goal, another result, 1 goal. What is the plan, and what should the fans be looking for differently that will produce 3 goals and 4 goals and win games conclusively? And if you can't answer that question, and it's like, I'm sorry, this isn't state secrets. We're not asking you to divulge the playbook. I'm not asking you to divulge like the tactical changes you're making. What are you doing differently? Like, what are we doing differently? What is the objective criteria we're going to judge you by? Because as of right now, like, without seeing these games, are we spending the entire time just doing the horseshoe of doom? Are we not, like, when you hear things like, oh, we had some trouble linking in the final third? Yeah, I watched that for the entirety of 2025. Like, I want to know what the difference is, and I want to know why, and I would like to know why, and I would like to know when we are going to start seeing the fruits of that labor produce more than 1 goal in a preseason game. Or are we going to have to wait until we show up in 2 or 3 weeks and see, does this team look any different? Because all I'm hearing is, we're going to be doing wingbacks, midfielders, and Kevin Denkey up top. And you know what? I watched that not work for an entire fucking year last year. And I would like to know what I have to look forward to as a fan that will change the fortunes of this team. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. So, I do think it's interesting that, like, they by making Miles DP, they doubled down on, like, we have, like, the roster we have for whatever our goals are. I don't know what the goals are. I assume the goals are trophies, but whatever.
You're saying goals plural. We only score 1 goal.
Yeah. And so, like, not to, like, go back to Nashville, but, like, Surridge had 25 XG last year, and he scored 25 goals. in the league. Denkey had 11 XG and he scored 16 goals.
Yeah.
So if Kevin Denkey has like 25 XG next year, he's going to set the MLS goal record.
You assume he's capable of getting 25 XG.
Well,
Surge may just be a better player. Surge may just be a better player.
Well, nothing in their backgrounds indicates that Surge is a better player.
See, Chief, that's the piece you keep missing about Denkey.
Surge gets into dangerous spots and other than the fact that Surge gets into dangerous spots and Kevin Denkey doesn't. I mean, I'm sorry, that's what XG tells me.
It's team build up.
That's not true based on anything other than based on anything.
I mean, you can look at their careers.
Kevin Denkey's like worst season is like is basically the 2025 FC Cincinnati season.
Yeah.
And Sam Surridge has a couple of like ineffective years with Nashville.
One good year.
Like a year and a half of being like mid in Nashville and some years in like the English Championship. Kevin Denkey has, prior to FC Cincinnati, has like several years of like very good play in Europe. I'm not
in a league as good as the Championship, to be clear.
I don't know if the Belgian league is worse than the Championship. I'm not ready to. It's not like clearly better,
Waffles
but I'm not sure
better.
it's like worse.
Beer is probably better.
And so based on all of this, I'm not inclined to believe that like it's an apples to apples comparison of like Surridge to Denkey, or that like, you know, the one good year that Surridge had out of 3 in MLS erases Denkey's like entire career, or that the fact that like toothless FC Cincinnati for everybody defines Denkey as a player. But yeah, like I do think it's like fair to like go to FC Cincinnati and say like Nashville had their striker get 25 XG. He scored 25 goals. Your striker, who you paid, I don't know, 3x more to get, had 11 XG and he scored 16 goals. What are we going to do this season with basically the same team to get him up to 25 XG and, you know, 37 goals?
I will just be a little annoying and point out that Surridge accomplished that on a team whose roster did contain a designated center back for whatever that's worth. So you can't necessarily
Denkey can do it with a DPCB.
That's what I'm saying is you can't necessarily point to that as the excuse of why he can't do it because the team isn't set up right.
If he does, I'll say this. If Denkey doesn't score, so we have a DP center back this year. Okay. Yeah. If Denkey doesn't score 25 goals this year, somebody did a real bad job.
I'm really curious why the answer can't be Kevin Denkey.
It might be.
Okay.
He might suck. But if he sucks, Chris Albright needs to be fired.
Kevin, where are you at with all this, with the preseason results, and this, you know, we've all watched Noonan's comments. I don't know that they're confidence inspiring for me. Where are you at on this?
So it doesn't inspire confidence. Honestly, if you watch his body language, I'm sure he's just like annoyed at the fact that he has to do media what looks like in a hotel room. Maybe he's in like some janky locker room back there in the stadium.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. That's his job.
But so like the body language doesn't instill confidence. Now, granted, he's an even kill guy, but that's a concern right then and there. But the thing that I'll just continue to harp on and be annoying about is that this team was incredibly successful last year when it came to winning matches. Now, granted, we can all point out the 4 or 5 matches we wish they had won that they didn't. I'm not saying that, but they finished higher on the table than Nashville, finished higher on the table than LAFC. They finished higher on the table than everybody except for Philadelphia. That includes Miami, by the way, the team that we all agree is pulling some roster shenanigans. So with that, I don't need them to necessarily reinvent the wheel. I need it to be more consistent. And I need a even a half step up from what they were doing last year ought to prove to be enough to put them in trophy contention throughout the season. That's how I view it. Like when I'm looking around the league, I don't necessarily see a bunch of teams that were like contenders that reloaded, with the exception of Miami. But like, I think you can make very good arguments that Philly got worse, that Nashville did get better. Sure, there may be the one other exception by adding one Christian Espinoza. But then like, did Chicago get better? Not really. Vancouver lost a lot of key contributors this offseason. Galaxy might be better. I don't know if they're a contender. They weren't really last year. They were a wooden spoon contender for most of last year. So like, I'm looking around the league and I'm thinking like, yeah, we're still in the top 3 or 4 clubs. It just is going to take just a little bit to be more consistent, and they'll be.
I don't know if it's going to take a little bit. Like every time, like first of all, like we didn't blow a single team out last year.
Granted,
no,
we got blown out multiple times.
Yeah.
And then when it came down to like, we have to win this game or like this team like needs to beat us, that team beat us every time.
Yeah.
Except for Columbus.
I guess, I guess except for that one game against Columbus.
Yeah. So I'm just to be clear and to be fair. Right.
But like we played Philadelphia twice. They played us off the field both times. We played against, we had a week where it was like, oh, this is the week to win the Shield, where we had like Atlanta, Dallas, and like some other
DC.
Yeah. DC.
Yeah.
And we got 1 point that week. Yeah. We played Miami.
Leagues Cup, Champions League. Yeah.
Yeah. We like got blown out in leagues in Champions League. In Leagues Cup, man, that was like a pretty embarrassing sequence of games.
They win the first.
The advancement path in Leagues Cup is stupid. So like,
fine, but like good, beat Juarez.
Like, yeah.
They took a bad gamble on that a rotated squad should be able to beat Juarez, and it wasn't enough. They lose in penalties.
Yeah, because they chose not to like really compete in that tournament.
Right.
And then they went in 4-0 to Miami. 4-0.
That's tough.
Yeah, this is all known. This is all known. Like this is all.
I know it's all known, but like I don't think anybody. I have not gotten a sense that anybody in the team is embarrassed by any of it.
I mean, like that's the problem with this team. It's like we spent an entire year fighting about this last year. Of they don't pass the eyeball test. They pass the table test. They don't pass the underlying metrics test. They pass the scoreboard test. And, the problem with this team right now is that unless you tell me something's going to be different, then, everyone like Kevin, like I don't have a problem with your take. I really don't, with this idea that, yeah, this team was really close and they were, top of the league with Philly for most of the year. 2 more results go differently. We're winning Supporters Shield. That's all well and good, but like that was based on an incredible overperformance of the underlying metrics. And what nobody wants to talk about with this team, I think the only person who wants to talk about this is Matt Doyle. And I hate that because he's kind of annoying to read about with this, is that when you overperform like your metrics, in many cases, unless you make big changes to address that, the response the next year is regression to the mean. There was an article about this, or a stat about this in the Premier League, where if you look at teams that overperform their XG in 1 year, like they fall off, they usually tend to fall off pretty massively the next year in terms of points produced. And if this team regresses to its XG and regresses to its underlying numbers, this team is a 7th or an 8th place team. If this team, God forbid, underperforms its XG and its underlying metrics, this is a team that's going to miss the playoffs this year. And we all sort of have it in our heads. We all have it in our heads. Hold on one second. We all have it in our heads that Pat Noonan and the way this team is built to avoid the basement, that it's built to sort of like that the wheels aren't going to fall off. It may limit the ceiling, but the wheels aren't going to fall off. But the reality of the situation is unless you tell me something is radically different this year about what this team is planning to do tactically or to address some of these issues we've seen, then the nightmare scenario is going to be in play on this. And that's that instead of scoring, 52 goals off 42 XG, they score 35 goals off 42 XG. And they're like desperately clinging to that 8th spot or, just finding themselves short of the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I like that they can win tight games, but I think you also need to be able to play well.
Yeah.
Keep the fact that you can win tight games, but also learn to play well.
Yeah.
That's what we need. We know the team can win a lot of tight games and then look like shit sometimes. Maybe the team should be able to win a lot of tight games and then also look really good sometimes.
Right.
That's we just want to flip the other.
Yeah.
Have you tried to not look like shit every so often option?
Yeah.
Now, there was one little hint in Pat Noonan's comments in a response to a question from Laurel asking about the midfield pairing. So in this case, it was Samuel Guidi and Obi were paired up to start the game. And she noted that this was a different pairing than the first game. And Noonan said, yeah, this is the time to experiment. We want to see what these different looks are. We'll potentially see, the other combination of the three. But he also threw out there, we might even look at, or we'll look at all three of them on the field together, which is an interesting comment because that would suggest, I assume they're not doing that in place of Evander, would suggest a four-man midfield, which would ultimately force a midfield change.
He also slipped up at one point and said that our front three, which was interesting to me when he, you're putting Evander as part of that along with Ayub and Kevin.
Right. Like a 4-3-3.
Right.
Yeah.
So you tell, all right. So there's something. You tell me that you're looking at that. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, here is something that I can look forward to as a fan. That's here is a demonstrably different thing that we're doing this year that is not just running it back over again and hoping for better results out of this. And what we're doing right here. I would encourage anyone that is covering this team, let's find this out. Let's figure this out. Let's get some answers on this, because it sucks as a fan of this team, just sort of hearing a lot of the same shit and seeing a lot of the same names on the roster, and then hoping that it's going to be different this year. We didn't get a big new signing because we all knew we weren't going to get a big new signing.
Yeah.
Give me something to look forward to this year besides, hoping the wheels don't fall off in big games again and hoping that the one goal mastery continues. But nothing we've seen so far seems to indicate that's going to be the case. And I don't want to think that. I want to be optimistic going into this season. And we talked to Brett Utley, and I thought we were all kind of that was a cool conversation. I like what he's bringing. Tell me that we're implementing some of that. Tell me that like we've changed patterns of play. Tell me that we're doing something that he suggested. Tell me we're switching the formation. Tell me we're changing who's playing. Tell me what is going to be different this year. That's what I want to hear right now. And I can't watch it because we're not televising these games. So tell me about it some way.
Well,
that's where I'm at.
Here's a concern.
Okay.
Oh, another one
is Evander had like goals plus assists. He had like a real good number, right?
Yeah.
We're expecting him to like increase that.
They think that. That was like Albright's whole thing in his press conference was that we think that Kevin Denkey and Evander can produce more results by doing different things. They pretty much have to because the team wasn't good enough this year.
They do have to. They do have to because the team did nothing otherwise, and the team wasn't good enough. But okay, so it's the expectation for this season is like Evander puts up like league historic numbers.
No, what you all are saying is that Evander does the same thing and somehow Kevin Denkey is going to magically score like 5 or 6 more goals. Like, that's what everybody
I mean, everybody seems to think he's going to do that. Could use more of Evander's assists being Denkey goals. If I remember correctly,
well, that's a zero sum.
Sure, it would also require Kevin Denkey being in a position to receive a pass to score a goal. Seems to be a challenge for him currently.
But also, the FC Cincinnati team last year, offensively, was 2 guys. Like that changed a little bit when Brenner showed up. I think we all agree the team looked better.
I think that we want more people to assist than Evander.
So if Evander adds 1 more assist and 1 more goal, but Ramirez is adding 10 goal contributions and Ender's adding 10 goal contributions. Sorry, Trialis is adding 10, Ender's adding 10, and you get 10 as a combination of the other 3 midfielders.
And Buka's doing a little more.
Yeah. I think you could see the path forward. I don't necessarily need Evander to take a huge leap up, but I need somebody else to take the pressure off the other 2 guys.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And historically that was Barrial and that 1 year of Luca, which by the way, Grayson, I know you were in this camp. How annoying was it to see like his first goal contribution? It's just like a freaking banger. It's just like, hey man, I do have a bone to pick with Grayson on that, where he says, where was that at all last year? Lest we forget that we flew halfway across the country and a goal like that was the only thing that salvaged our attendance.
Yeah, he did score a nice goal against Salt Lake.
RSL. We were actually in person to see that and really rescued that walk out of the stadium for all of us, I would say.
That's true. And then the wait for the Uber that never showed up. Chief, I can tell you there is one change, certainly, that'll be happening. Fabian Morozic joins on loan from a little club you might have heard of called Liverpool. He is 22 years old. I will point out he has never played for Liverpool. He did spend last year on loan with Forest Green Rovers in the National League. If folks don't know, that's the league that Wrexham started out in when the TV show started. It's there's a good argument for like USL being a higher quality than that league. So something to consider.
A higher quality than that. Yeah, USL is undoubtedly a higher quality than that.
This is the Paul Walters replacement.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
like Paul Walters is going on loan to Ireland,
right,
of all places.
Bohemia. Yeah, if this guy sees the field, something is totally fucked for this team this year.
Yeah.
So better learn to speak FCC too, buddy.
Yeah, he will play in Leagues Cup, which we're told we don't care about because we're going for other trophies that we also don't win.
Yes, and he'll look very good in that.
And it'll be a great copy for whoever's calling the game to say, he's a Liverpool product.
Grayson pointed this out. Second player.
Josu is
the same way my
product,
sweater is a Vietnam product.
Yeah. What, Miazga made the bench for Chelsea 5 times? Something like that. I don't think
he ever appeared for Chelsea. He appeared for Chelsea.
Absolutely appeared,
okay.
Under Conte, I believe.
Yes. Late season.
Who was that? Was Kyle Scott on the bench for Chelsea?
Kyle Scott
once
was
or twice?
ever on the bench, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
This is more of a Kyle Scott situation than a Miazga situation.
Yeah. 22 years old. Interesting moves by Liverpool. I never quite understand what these giant clubs are doing with moves like this, but neat. I don't know. Cool that we're doing business with them. Similar idea. FC Cincinnati signs a strategic partnership with Porto. Chief, of the strategic partnerships around the globe that FC Cincinnati has signed, which one's your favorite?
Heart of Oaks is still my favorite one, just because it's like I wasn't aware of the existence of Heart of Oaks till this partnership was signed, whereas I had heard of Porto prior to this. I don't understand. Like, if you can just have strategic partnerships, why don't we have a strategic partnership with every club? Like just send Jeff Birding around Europe and just stop at every stadium, like take a picture, exchange a jersey, and like we are the club of partnerships, and we have a partnership with Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund and Colm, and we're going to go up to England, and we're going to partnership with Spurs and Arsenal and Chelsea and Liverpool and City and United, and we're just going to keep trading jerseys and partnerships because apparently they don't mean anything. I think that we had a partnership with Heart of Oaks. I don't know what, if anything, came about from that. We had a partnership with TSG Hoffenheim. What do we get?
I know what we got out of Heart of Oaks. It was 2 players to FC Cincinnati 2. I think both were on loan. So that's neat.
There you go. We got that Franco Kovacic from Hoffenheim, I think, right? That was definitely not a money laundering scam.
One of the worst players to ever play for FC Cincinnati, and I mean that across all eras.
Yeah, which is saying something given how bad this team's history is in MLS. So that partnership was obviously nothing. Maybe this will be different. Maybe we'll get a good partnership out of this.
Sao Paulo as well, which
we got Brenner. We did that.
Yeah, but I think we signed it after we signed Brenner, so I don't know what that was worth.
It's like you can sign Brenner, but you got to sign a partnership with us, and like you have to pay us a partnership fee that is different than the loan fee. Yeah. Oh shit! Was that do we sign partnerships and pay partnership fees to get the loan fees negotiated down on players? That would be awesome. My favorite is with Club Atlético Talleres. Because
is this the Argentinian club or Brazilian club?
The Argentinian club, because they announced it and we did not. On November 22nd, 2023, Club Atlético Talleres said interested in deepening their knowledge of the most outstanding management experiences in Argentine football. Executives and officials from the Major League Soccer team toured the CARD facilities and exchange experiences regarding high performance training, methodology, scouting, and youth development programs. And Jeff Birding and Larry Sunderland did like a video for this club, which FC Cincinnati did 0.
Nice.
Like they did 0 to promote or announce or anything. So that's my club. Club Atlético Talleres.
Was this like the episode of Parks and Rec where they send the team from Venezuela down just to like guerrilla film a commercial partnership to sit people saying how much they love Hugo Chavez? There was no intention whatsoever to. Kevin, let's announce that we're partnering with I'm going to make the announcement right now.
We're partnering with Happy Foot, Sad Foot.
Yeah.
I was going to say soccer wise.
But yes, we're partnering with SoccerWise.
We have announced a strategic partnership with SoccerWise where we will exchange high-end editing techniques.
Yeah, and just because they don't announce it doesn't mean the partnership isn't real. We're
That's
announcing
true.
the partnership. We're partnering with SoccerWise and Kevin. Late breaking. I'm very happy to announce we are also partnering with hit podcast Pardon My Take too. They may not announce that either, but we're announcing that podcast. And then in the coming weeks, we will also be announcing our partnership with Serial from NPR as part of our investigative reporting that we do once per 2 or 3 years on the Post. And Don't Look Now, but
and Katie Miller.
Yes, we need Katie Miller on her. Also, the Ford CEOs podcast. I don't know if you guys ever heard about this.
I don't know what that is.
Ford CEO.
Ford. I know about Ford.
You know
Ford's
about Ford.
Theater.
They have a CEO. 2 years ago.
The theater in DC.
It probably is the same family, to be clear.
Ronald Reagan, the actor.
But he had his own podcast, but they accidentally had like the download numbers to the public. And his podcast, he had like A-list celebrities, big time musicians on, and legitimately was getting like 80 downloads, 100 downloads an episode.
I mean, we only get like 12 or 13, so we can't really talk shit.
Right. We are partnering with the Night of the Seven Kingdoms post show podcast.
Chief, I'm not saying 100 wouldn't be an improvement. What I am saying is if I was the
Bill
CEO
Simmons, our
of
podcast partner.
But if I'm the CEO of Ford and I have Sydney Sweeney on, I would hope we got 100 downloads.
I mean, unless it's a video podcast, I don't know, man.
I'll be honest with you. Podcasts getting like 10 listeners is
kind of rad.
Part of how we get a lot of like interesting information for this show.
That's true.
Right? Or it's like Kevin Denkey is on like some Belgium show where it's like, oh yeah, we're like the Belgium Cercle Bruges and chess talk. Yeah. And it's like, oh, he like talks about like the signing process, or like
Striker to King
goes
4
on like some Czech show.
Checkmate, the
that is true.
and Kevin Denkey show.
Yeah,
I do need more FC Cincinnati players to go on local podcasts to their home countries and like just spill the tea a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Except for Sammy Djiby, who should only go on our podcast.
That's true.
Right. If you do want to form a strategic partnership with the Post,
we can speak Slovak to you.
That's true.
If you want to form a strategic partnership with the Post, please, DMs are open.
Or just announce it.
Yeah, one or the other.
Just say it out loud.
Yeah, it's like how Michael Scott thinks you declare bankruptcy. That is actually how you start strategic partnerships with us.
Exactly.
Chief,
right.
I hate to do a live fact check, but Serial is from This American Life, which is broadcast on NPR, but is not an NPR product. Okay, so let's just make sure we're getting
Isn't
our facts
it done
straight.
by like American Public Media or like something in Chicago?
I think so. All I know is it's not NPR.
Well, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah,
they might have sold it off even.
NPR's over now, by the way.
Yeah, actually, we canceled NPR.
It's over.
I don't know if you guys knew about that.
We have a strategic partnership with NPR too, now that they can't refute it.
We have a strategic partner with lots of stuff that we're not going to mention.
National Endowment for the Arts.
Business.
They give us negative $5 a year. That's nice.
The Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Yep. Bert Kreischer.
I've got 2 more things here real quick. One, the kit reveal event for season ticket holders is on the 10th of February from
Just
5 to 7 at TQS.
It seems like nobody got tickets for that.
Yeah.
What's the redneck's name that has a podcast?
Joe Rogan.
Theo Vaughn.
Yes, Theo Vaughn.
I knew where Grayson's brain was going.
I couldn't think of it. All right, we're good.
Just post a picture of the kit. Stop doing this. It's so stupid. I hate how
buy
big
it for Christmas. Let me buy it for my nephew for Christmas. God damn.
You know what was available? Every goddamn version of the Miami kit. Okay.
You know what else was available? A Batman Tony, which is what I bought.
Tony's are pretty cool.
Yeah, Tony's are awesome. You know what would also be awesome? New kits.
New kits. As Tony's. Little ceramic guys.
Do the kit as a do the kit as a Tony.
You know what I love about this? You know what I love about this?
Chance or whatever the fuck they do on the show as Tony's.
What I love about this, though, about the kit reveal and the tickets like this, is that if you do this and you don't really sell any tickets, like you go say, oh, tickets are available at noon if you click this link, and you click the link at noon and there's no tickets, people automatically think, oh my God, the team must be really popular. Look at this, sold out immediately. You just didn't put any tickets on sale, and it's all club employees that are there and people that they hand tickets out to his plants.
If Kevin Denkey doesn't score 20 goals this year, they should pay for our kits. Everybody who bought a kit from the team, they should get that money refunded. Because what are you guys doing?
I like it.
I like
It's
this.
like
Put your money where your
the
mouth is.
Man City players who refunded the fans who traveled to that away game.
Yes.
What about this? What about this, Grayson? If Kevin Denkey doesn't score 20 goals, will you pay for everyone's kits that bought a Kevin Denkey goal or a Kevin Denkey kit?
No. No.
So generous. I can't believe he just said yes. That is so nice.
I'll buy 12 people a drink at a game.
That's not nothing.
Let's see, I anchored the negotiation high and got more than I was expecting, which was 0. Art of the deal, baby.
You just got 12. Hopefully not. Hopefully you didn't get shit, to be clear.
I'm gonna drink
I need him to score goals.
But everybody who had in their head, like, I'm going to ask Grayson for a drink at a game after Kevin Denkey doesn't score, you have to buy me a drink now if he does score 20 goals.
Ooh, that's a good point. Grayson needs 12 drinks purchased for him, and then he'll consider his debt to the public paid. Or the public's debt to him paid.
The public's debt to me, yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Obviously, it's the public's debt to me. What are we doing?
I'm so sorry.
Thank you for apologizing.
And finally, I don't even know why I'm dignifying this by typing it into the comments here. There's a rumor that Napoli is interested in Kevin Denkey. Throw out there Everton and Crystal Palace as well, monitoring the situation.
Oh yeah, can't wait.
I don't know.
No, just they said that FCC's price tag is $30 million. Well, there was reporting today that LAFC was asking 15 for Denny Bouanga. What that means is FC Cincinnati doesn't want to sell Kevin Denkey, and they're just throwing a number out there where it's like, yeah, if you pay us $30 million, because that's a deeply unserious number to throw out for what he has done so far, when better players, or I'm going to say better players, but more accomplished players are being sold for less money. If that is true, which I'm not even sure it's true, that is a go away number when you say 30 million.
Yeah.
I agree. If they could get
I don't agree with everything you've said,
go.
but I do agree that like 30 million is a go away number.
Yeah. The only thing
it's a go away or like a fine.
Be cool if you did.
Number.
Yeah.
It's like when I get like a thing put in my mail slot where it's like, I'll buy your house. I'm like, fine, $2 million.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I get those spam calls all the time. I do the same thing. It's like, cool, you got $1 million cash? I'll move out tomorrow. Yeah. I'll figure it out. You give me the cash, I'll figure this out.
As soon as the check clears.
The international market for strikers is so absurdly skewed, especially with the fact that like the Premier League is buying up these guys. And then that leads to this sort of like trickle down effect across all the leagues. There is a world where I think Denkey could move for $20 or $25 million. Like that wouldn't shock me.
He can move for 20.
Yeah.
I think he can move for 20 because I think that, so here's the argument, Chief. He was very good in Belgium and he was pretty good in MLS. And you can blame the like coaching and system and stuff for not like the counting stats being like super high. So his market in Belgium was like about 15. And somebody else might say like, oh yeah, he was like really good there. He was like pretty good here with some caveats. Yeah, we'll pay 20. Like
his market was 15 2 years ago.
I think 20 is I think you could sell him for 20 is what I'm saying. I don't want to.
One of the big things that teams look for,
25-30 seems crazy.
That I'll give you that. But I will tell you, one of the things that teams look for is success at multiple stops. A guy who is really good for one team for 8 years doesn't spark as much joy as a guy who is very successful in 2 different teams, 2 different leagues. Those are the types of things. That's something that Garth Lagerwey has talked about. There's like one of the key attributes they look for before signing a designated player is success in 2 different leagues or 2 different countries, because that is a better indicator that player will then translate. So that's why I see there's a world where there's something like that, but
he was 23 when he was 23 when he was worth $15 million. He's 25 now. Like he's reaching an age where the odds of getting like a huge money deal, it's declining, I would say. And if he got that kind of money coming from MLS,
I think he's worth 20. I don't think he's worth like 25 or 30.
Yeah.
I don't think
if you get an offer of 25, sell
immediately.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
You just see some of the most mediocre strikers like in the Premier League move from mid-table clubs to higher table clubs for like $60 million. It's like he's in those conversations in my mind, talent-wise. So
I don't think so.
You don't think he could do it for a low-end Premier League team?
We'll see.
Can't do it here.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't believe this is ending with Denkey slander.
He can do it here.
Hasn't done it here. I'll say that. Hasn't.
He did do it here.
Last year was perfectly fine.
Right, but like they're not paying for perfectly fine. There's a big difference between perfectly fine and like moving up a level of competition.
I think the question is like, what do you think the problem was last year? Do you think it was like the players, or do you think it was like the
like Chief, the way you're talking
coaching
about it is,
I think it was the system coaching.
Right, like this team was perfect. Everything about it was perfect, and it all fell apart when the ball was at Denkey's foot. I don't think there's a universe where you can make that argument about this team last year.
No, I don't. I'm not making that argument. This team was very clearly not perfect in many facets. I'm just saying that, like, I think that there has been a, I've turned on this issue where I think that like there has been too much that has been hand waved about Denkey's performance and failure to live up to his transfer fee. And it's hard not to notice that he was spending a lot of time where the goal isn't, as opposed to going to where the goal is. And I hope that's been corrected this year. I hope that with Ayoub Jabari on the team playing the hold-up striker role, that Kevin Denkey will go do what he's supposed to do, and that's go be available to be in dangerous positions to score goals, because too frequently last year he wasn't. And that's part of the reason why there was a low XG number, because instead of being in a spot to receive dangerous passes and score goals, he was going places that aren't dangerous and trying to work his way back to those dangerous spots with the ball at his feet. And that's not what he's paid to do. That's not what he should be doing. If he can change that this year because of the new tactics and with a better or a more dynamic and younger striker next to him, great. I'm all for that. But I didn't see that last year, and I'm not just going to assume that's going to happen this year. So
I think the team was incompetently set up last year, and for a variety of reasons. And I'm open to like the team being competently set up this year. And so like, I'm not putting a lot at. What's that?
I said, I hope it is this year. I hope it is set up better this year. That's my. That's the dream.
I'm not putting a lot at Denkey's feet for last year, but we do have a whole deal coming this season, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. On the opposite end of the field, though, we were so lucky to be able to talk to Cincinnati's own Kyle Smith. This was, I think, a very funny interview because I don't think Kyle quite knew what he was getting into when he sat down with us. And it's a good conversation. So I think people are going to enjoy this. Get a little insight into maybe the man coming for Nick Haglin's crown here as Golden Boy in Cincinnati. And we'll catch you on the other side to see you on your way. So enjoy this conversation. We'll see you afterwards. Joining us here, I am so excited to be able to introduce our next guest. He is a Cincinnati native. He is the winner of the USL Cup in 2017 and 2018, Open Cup winner in 2022. FC Cincinnati's own Kyle Smith. Kyle, welcome to the PostCast, man.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the introduction.
You know, the funny thing is that you introduced him as FC Cincinnati's own, but he has always been Cincinnati's own. So I think we need to put that out there right now. I guess the first question that I'm interested in is, how excited are you to be moving back to a city where when people ask you where you went to school, they're talking about high school and not college?
That's true. I'm very excited about that because every time I tell somebody where I go to college, they refer to the Transylvania, the movie, the vampire movie. I'm just kind of sick of that joke. So.
You can finally go back to being a LaSalle kid. Yeah. Have you talked to Nick Haglin about stepping on his, Cincinnati native son turf with this FC Cincinnati team?
No, I haven't. I'm pretty sure he's got that on lock with his Instagram and his social media presence. So I don't think he's worried about that, to be honest.
So what was it that drew you to making the decision to come home? Because I know that for certain athletes, it's always a dream to play in your hometown. For other athletes, there's like an added pressure of playing in your own hometown. And in your case, your own hometown didn't really exist when you started your career. So what went into the decision to come back and play for FC Cincinnati for you?
Yeah, one, it being my hometown, getting to play in front of my family every week. But the main thing was just Cincinnati has consistently been at the top of the table over the past several years. And at the end of the day, I'm trying to win. I only have so much time to win at this level in this league. So that was the ultimate decision maker for me, was I want to win.
Yeah, that's a fantastic reason to be coming in. But I think we have to note, not the first time you've at least tried to play for FC Cincinnati. Could you take us back to either early 2016 or late 2015? I don't know exactly when this would have happened, but the tryout process for FC Cincinnati. Got word that you had tried out originally for the USL expansion team. How did that go for you?
Yeah, so I was working at the time at the University of Cincinnati College of Medicine doing accounting and then playing amateur, trying to stay in shape as best as I could with sitting at a cubicle 8 hours a day. But so Cincinnati was, just starting their first ever season in the USL. So I went to the open tryout, which is anybody can show up. You pay, I think, like $200, $250. So there was probably like 200, 300 people there. And then they might be selecting like 2 or 3 guys to come to like an invitee tryout. Unfortunately, I didn't stand out enough and I didn't get invited to the invitee tryout. But then I also tried out for Louisville City and they invited me to an invitee tryout with like maybe 20 guys. And then 3 of us out of the 20 made it to IMG for preseason with them, and then I think they ended up taking 2 of us to sign with the team. So it was like a 4-week process of finally making a team. Yeah.
So when you signed your contract with Cincinnati here, did you ask for your $250 back as part of the contract you signed?
No, I still got to work that in somehow. That's good.
Was there any aspect of it where it's like you could pay $250, or if you sign 4 other people up who they pay $250, your entry is free?
That's a good one, but I don't think that's how it worked at the time.
Let's make sure Grayson's not running a soccer team anytime soon. That's diabolical.
So I had to ask first too, because we're talking about you try out for Louisville City, and we always have people that are joining the podcast and joining the fandom at various points. Some of the people who are more recent converts to FC Cincinnati may not know that Louisville City was the OG rivalry to FC Cincinnati. Was there a little bit of extra motivation in all those games after FC Cincinnati, bilked you for $250 and then told you to take a hike when you were playing in some of those old Dirty River Derby games?
Yeah, definitely. I had that in the back of my mind. Every time when I used to play against FC Cincinnati, that they low key owed me $250, but it's all full circle now, and I'm getting it back, so that's good.
Speaking of the time with Louisville, I think there's an important, moment in the history between Cincinnati and Louisville that you played a big part in that I think people don't realize, where everyone talks about the incident with Djiby fall during the game. I guess we could talk about what might or might not have happened after that, but I think people forget, maybe you don't remember this, that it all kicked off when Djiby went 2-footed into you, and got a card.
Yeah, honestly,
I remember that
vaguely. Now that you mention it, I remember. Not really.
Yeah.
The tackle or anything. I just remember, I guess, the card, but I played. That was a long time ago, and I played so many games at this point that I'm focused on the next game every time. Like, it's all the games are meshing together at this point. Yeah.
So at what point? So it was April 15th, 2017. Totally fair if you don't remember this, but it was after the 2-footed tackle. Djiby gets the straight red. He ends up exchanging words with Niall McCabe, who I believe is still at Louisville. It's like one of the last originals at Louisville. And allegedly, Djiby bites McCabe on the face.
Now I remember this.
Do you remember being aware? Yeah, it's coming back now.
Yeah, they don't all blend together when somebody gets bitten on the face.
Now I remember, yeah.
Is that the only game you've been involved in where somebody got bit?
I'm sure Suarez was biting somebody when maybe I played Miami maybe once. I don't remember, but maybe those 2 times, yeah.
Oh man, that moment is just so perfect for us here in Cincinnati, because Djiby gets suspended, but only for USL games, was allowed to play in the Open Cup, and that's when FC Cincinnati went on their incredible Open Cup run in 2017 as a lower division team. But you would later go on to win the Open Cup. I'm curious, being in Louisville, where I know that competition means more, I would say, for lower division teams, to ultimately winning it with Orlando. How do you view the Open Cup, and what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it was awesome winning that tournament. I know it's one of or probably the oldest tournament in the United States when it comes to professional soccer. So it's a very historic tournament, and like you said, lower division teams, it's extremely important because you get the most eyes during that tournament. So, it was awesome winning that in Orlando. It was also their first trophy that they've won as an organization. So it was awesome experience winning that. Yeah.
And so when you played in Orlando and you make the transition from USL to MLS. Lots of people talk about coming into MLS from other countries, other leagues, coming into MLS from USL. What was the biggest change you had to make to your game, or the biggest thing that you noticed as a difference moving to MLS?
Yeah, I would say that defensively, like not letting the fast wingers behind, like not leaving the space behind me. Because in the MLS, like if they get in behind you or if you make a mistake, they're much more willing or much more able to like punish you if you make a mistake. Like if you mess up once, it could lead to a goal, where like in the USL, I think it was more forgiving a little bit, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And like, does this let you have also the ability to give advice to some of the new plumbers that are coming into FC Cincinnati about MLS? Like, hey, your league may be a little different. Here's the thing in MLS that is shocking to people that they've never played in this league before.
Yeah, I think just like spacing wise and maybe when to engage a attacker, when to maybe drop and delay.
I have it written down here. You made 178 appearances for Orlando after 85 with Louisville. That is a heck of a career at both of those places. What are you going to look most fondly back on with your time in Orlando? I mean, not to say you don't eventually end up going back there, but of that time that you've had there, what do you look back most fondly?
I would say just my teammates and the team, like the locker room, and then also the fans. Just being able to play at the stadium, every week. The fans were amazing, and they treated me very well. So.
It wasn't until Kevin was saying that right there. I looked up your career, and we're all familiar at this point, but it didn't click to me until just now. You play almost 90 appearances, and we'll say almost 100 appearances at Louisville, almost 200 appearances in Orlando. That's 300 appearances wearing some shade of purple. And I've just got to ask you, How much shit did your LaSalle classmates give you about selling out to Elder?
Yeah, right. Luckily, I think they were just happy for me that I made it to the top league in the MLS. But I've always gotten it because all my uncles went to Elder, so I used to get Elder shirts for Christmas, actually. So, yeah,
that's cruel. That's so mean.
I'd rather have
this is why coming back to Cincinnati is good, because you join an Orlando City podcast. They're not talking about Purple Fridays the same way we're talking Purple Fridays on a Cincinnati podcast.
That's true.
So, Kyle, your career takes off right around the time FC Cincinnati starts. I have to assume your family, the extended family, is following your career and tracking you. Are any of them like casual FC Cincinnati fans, or do you have to sort of like break them away from being Orlando fans to starting to like reset to follow FC Cincinnati?
Oh, no, I think they were all FC Cincinnati fans. I mean, I feel like Cincinnati is a big sports city, so everyone loves the sports, So they were all Cincinnati fans. They might not have told me that, but I think they all were. And now they can do it freely, so that's good.
They don't have to hide their true selves from you. I like that.
Yeah.
Your time with Orlando has taken you to Cincinnati to especially play in TQL Stadium in front of the Bailey. Maybe talk a little bit about what it is like playing against FC Cincinnati in TQL Stadium. We hear from lots of folks that it is a very intimidating atmosphere, one of the better atmospheres in MLS, and finally getting that stadium on your side this coming year.
Yeah, I can't wait, to be honest. It's like playing against FC Cincinnati. It was definitely one of the most, loud and intimidating places to play, just because it's, consistently sold out and the fans are extremely passionate and loud. And you don't get that at a lot of the stadiums like consistently selling out and how loud it is throughout the entire game. So I'm very excited to get to play at TQO. Yeah.
And you've been down in training, obviously, in Clearwater for the past week. So congratulations on missing the snowpocalypse back in your hometown that we all had to deal with while you're enjoying sunny Florida. How has training been going so far, and how has your integration to the group been?
Yeah, training's been great. Everyone is super nice and welcoming, and the transition is going well for me personally. And, I'm really excited to see what we can accomplish this year, just because, I feel like FC Cincinnati had a great season last year, and, we're getting a lot of the same group back. So it's going to be an exciting year.
And as a follow-up to that as well, who on the fields that you've been training with are you glad that you won't have to see as an opposing player and have to defend this coming year?
Yeah, definitely Evander, because when I played against FC Cincinnati last year, I was playing in the center mid and I was chasing him around, which was, one of the more difficult tasks I had to do throughout my career. So, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, Kyle, it is something that we have observed over our years of being soccer fans that internationally, domestically, locally, there is maybe one fact that unites all soccer players, and that is their love of Chipotle, the fast casual burrito, holy grail. I have to know, what is your go-to Chipotle order?
I would get a burrito with double chicken, extra chicken, white rice, corn, lettuce. And then what I do is I get sour cream and the hot sauce in 1 cup and then shake it up. So I get it on every bite. Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
This must be a Chipotle Cincinnati thing, because when we had Hagland on, Nick is a big believer in the fancy sauce, where he gets a mixture of the salad dressing and the sour cream, and then he uses that as his sort of his mixing agent right there. So this is interesting. This is interesting. 2 variations on the exact same theme. I dig it.
Yeah, sounds pretty good.
And now we always ask people about their Chipotle order, but since we have a Cincinnati individual on here, it would be remiss if we didn't ask, number one, your favorite place to get Cincinnati chili. And when you're going to get Cincinnati chili, what's your order?
Skyline chili, of course. And then my order would be 2 cheese conies, no onions, no mustard, and a 3-way. Depending on how hungry I am, large, medium,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Solid order.
Nice.
It's a solid order.
You can eat that when you work out like a soccer player.
Yeah.
I said you can eat that when you work out like a soccer player.
Yeah. True. It's all gone the next day, pretty much.
Yeah.
With the sweat
the old
everything.
9-to-5 desk job doesn't lend itself to a large 3-way and 2 conies.
Well, Kyle, you've been incredibly generous with your time. We know that you've got limited amounts of free time down in training, and we had Carter Shapley on the show this past week, and we gave us a view of his hotel room. It's overlooking the beach, so we don't want to keep you from the beach, or I know the pool is closed, or other recreational activities outdoors. Final question. We're always looking to make headlines. We're always looking to have our podcast picked up by the national soccer media. Are you prepared to guarantee that FC Cincinnati will win every trophy it is competing for this year?
I'm just going to say yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh my God. Kyle, thank you so much for coming on, man. This was a blast. We wish you the absolute best of luck this season, both you and the team. And we look forward to watching you soon.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
And we'll talk to somebody about that $250. We'll make that happen for you.
Yeah.
No worries. Yeah.
Right. We are back. And again, a huge thank you to Kyle and FC Cincinnati for making that happen. Chief, I got to tell you, my favorite part about that conversation was him hearing the sort of preamble to the Djiby story going, guys, I've played in so many games. I'm not going to remember a red card to, oh, no, the one where the dude got bit. Yeah. I remember that one.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, that's some shit you just don't forget is what that is right there.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that.
I love having another Cincinnati. Love having another Cincinnati guy in town. Love that for us. Yeah. Love that for the team. I'm happy he gets to play in front of his family, friends, and another person who, you know, where'd you go to high school at? It's a question he can answer, and I enjoy that tremendously.
Yeah, it's insane to buy a kid merch for a high school they are not going to go to, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was my reaction. Like, that's an insane person move.
That's a Cincinnati move, baby. Start him young.
It is.
And thankfully for him, he went to LaSalle instead of Elder, which is why he's playing soccer instead of, you know, protecting and serving the citizens of Cincinnati.
I was going to say place kicking, but yeah.
Instead of being caught. Yeah.
He's sort of the cop of the defense.
I don't know. Do you guys remember that there back in the day, a couple of years ago, that there were billboards right off the interstate that said every child dreams of going to Elder? Like unironically, like advertising this.
No, that's not true.
Well, it's not true for about half the children who can't go to Elder because of gender reasons.
Right.
Yeah, that actually sparks a whole nother debate too.
Right.
But yeah, anyway.
We love Elder.
We do love Elder. Yes. We love LaSalle. We
love all the schools.
We love all your high schools.
We love whatever high school you went to, that's the best one. We love it.
Unless you went to high school in Columbus, because fuck Columbus.
Yeah.
The Cincy PostCast is a production of The Post Cincy. You can check us out online at thepostcincy.com. You can also follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky, Facebook, and Instagram. Twitter and Blue Sky, though, you'll find we're a little more active than the other places. We're also on YouTube, where you can listen to this episode if you aren't listening to it already. We are also putting up video content semi-regularly, including the Away Days series. We want to give a huge thank you to Jim Trace and the Makers for providing the music for this episode. They're a lovely band, and you can find more information out about them in the description of this episode. And if you happen to enjoy what you just heard, can I please ask that you like us, that you rate us on whatever app you're listening to, and maybe more importantly than all of that, share this episode with a friend. When it comes up at work, you're talking about FC Cincinnati, I say, hey, I listened to an FC Cincinnati podcast. I think you guys will like it. It would really, really help us out. Nothing helps a podcast travel more than a good recommendation from a friend, family member. That would be awesome. When it comes to the sorting algorithms that control our lives, a 5-star review would be much appreciated. Also, leaving a sort of written review weirdly does more than that. That's how the algorithms work. So maybe say a nice or a mean thing, whatever. Just as long as you give us 5 stars, that'll really, really, really help us out. And if you are looking for more MLS content, check out our other podcast, The World's Gam. Again, a link will be in the description of this episode. That is where we touch on league-wide storylines and news, and we talk about other games and a couple other teams in there as well. I think you will enjoy it if you are just dipping your toes into Major League Soccer. A huge thank you to all of our sponsors. A even bigger thank you to all of our patrons over at Patreon. But maybe most importantly, thank you for listening to this episode.